It's Hope and welcome to the video. As you can tell by the title of this video, this is going to be my Stay Gold by Toby McSmith kind of like review, review slash just talking about the book. I first want to say do not mind any noise. I'm pretty sure the heater's about to kick on, and then I have fans in my room because of how hot my room is. So I'm first going to kind of do a kind of spoiler-free review of just kind of basic explaining the book, explaining things that aren't spoilers, and then I want to go into a more spoiler-filled more spoiler-filled things of talking about specific moments in the book and specific character actions and all of that. So there will be a clear spoiler warning part, but we'll start off with the non-spoiler part. So if you don't know what this book is, which you should know what this book is about if you're watching this review, is Stay Gold. We follow two characters. The first being a trans boy named Pony, who is just entering his senior year at a new high school, and his only goal is to kind of stay under the radar, stay stealth, kind of have nobody really know he's trans. And then we also follow Georgia, who is a cheerleader who has banned dating this year after a very unfortunate breakup that happened over the summer, and her goal is to just get through the year, no boys, no drama or anything like that. But on the first day of school, Georgia and Pony meet, and that forms a friendship, which then the rest of the story unfolds. I do really like both Georgia and Pony as characters. They are really well written, and they seem like realistic teenagers who have their own individual problems, their own individual situations, which I'll explain in the more spoilers, because spoilers, but they genuinely feel like good characters. This story deals with so much, which again will be talked about in the spoiler part. All of the side characters are pretty good. I don't really know. I want to go into all the spoiler stuff, so I guess this is the spoiler warning that I might be saying things that are spoilers. I'm going to be all over the place with these spoiler parts because there are different points that I want to talk about. I guess the first thing that I will talk about is Pony and Georgia's friendship slash eventual relationship, and how at first in their friendship, Pony doesn't tell Georgia that he's trans, and that once Georgia finds out Pony's trans, bridges a drift in their friendship slash wanted relationship, because that throws Georgia for a loop and all of that. And I do say, I am going to say this, that yes, Georgia does have that right to need time to process that, but in the way that she did it could have been better. But I was trying to put myself in Georgia's shoes, and I was like, if there was this guy that I liked, what would my reaction be if I found out that he was trans, didn't tell me, and told me after a kiss? That she did have the right. She got very Pony lied to Georgia, but then it wasn't lying, and I'm putting myself, if I was in Georgia's situation, I would be a little bit hurt, but it wouldn't matter to me. But that's just personally. Fuck. This is all over the place, but that's a moment that I was like, ooh, that could have been done better, like, but like it was well written and all of that. Other moments of them after that moment and them still being friends and clearly still liking each other but not sure where it's going. And what else? Like, what else? There's so many things to talk about, and I don't want to talk about everything because I want to leave some things that are minor things. I do want to, I'm jumping to the end of the book here. I want to talk about homecoming and what happens there because I want to, there's a little PSA thing that I want to do. But so at the end of the book and like the final few chapters, we have like a homecoming at like beginning of like in October, where it's this dance. That's obviously what homecoming is. And at this homecoming, two female characters are outed as lesbians, and Pony gets up on the stage, announces that he's trans to take the heat off of these girls, and everyone, the reaction is just kind of meh, like, which, great. But then he goes to the bathroom and two guys beat the living crap out of him. And when I say that I was bawling, I was literally crying to the point I could barely read what was happening, because nobody should ever be treated like that at all. And it pisses me off that things like that do still happen. And then a thing that kind of comes out of that is the Pony ends up having to go to the hospital, and then when he gets released from the hospital, well, in the hospital, Pony and Georgia kind of decide that they're going to try out a relationship. But after the ending, the very end is so cute, how it's like, obviously, homecoming got ruined, nobody got to be crowned homecoming king and queen, and Pony and Georgia end up being crowned homecoming king and queen, and it's the cutest thing, and just the ending is so sweet and so wholesome. Yes, after very, very, very tragic events, but I do like the ending. I'm trying to think of other little things that I want to talk about. There's so many that I'm probably forgetting, but I want to kind of, since we're at the topic of like the ending and the events that happened to Pony, I want to read a little something from the book that puts into perspective just how mistreated the LGBTQ plus community is, that I didn't realize. So this is part of a like kind of like article that Georgia puts together, because she is a kind of like aspiring journalist who secretly writes in the school newspaper, and this is the first article that she posts that she like put into the school's newspaper as her own name, and it's kind of talking about like the event that happened at the homecoming and all of that. So sadly, what happened to Pony last night happens to transgender people all the time. The Trevor Project's latest research paints a dark picture. 71% of LGBTQ youth reported discrimination due to either their sexual orientation or gender identity. 47% of transgender and non-binary youth were physically threatened or abused in the past year. 48% of transgender and non-binary youth reported being discouraged from using a bathroom that corresponds to their gender identity, and most staggering, 39% of LGBTQ youth seriously considered attempting suicide in the past 12 months, with more than half of transgender and non-binary youth having seriously considered it. That is insane. I knew the numbers were high. I didn't realize they were that high. And that just paints such a dark picture, and it just, all of that needs to stop. But just overall, what we talk about in this book is so needed. Like, talking about, like, even something as small as the characters' home lives. Pony comes from a family where his dad is in the military and they move around a lot, and his dad especially isn't really okay with Pony wanting to transition. His mom is like okay, I guess. And so he has a difficult home life where his father specifically always misgenders and misnames. And we do find out Pony's dead name, which is sad that people don't always get called by the name they want. And even if it's a name that you are, like, you're transitioning and you want a new name, or even you just don't like the name you were given at birth and you want to go by a nickname, or you want to change your name entirely. Whatever name you want, go by that name. If you tell me your name, I will go by that name. I don't care if that's the name on your birth certificate or not. It's what you want to be called. That's the same with pronouns. If you say, oh yeah, my pronouns are like whatever, okay. That's all that matters, is you're telling me that, or you're letting me know if I accidentally misgender you. Let me know. Like, I'm a person that I 100% support, like, trans people, and I don't care what your gender identity is. As long as you're a good human being, that's all that matters. That's same with your sexuality. I don't care as long as you're a good person. But back to kind of the characters' home lives. Georgia has been raised by a single dad for the last 2 years after her mom left. And Georgia has very bad friends in some ways. The way they're just kind of like very picky and very closed-minded, and with all of these like they do, like, every year the seniors do pranks on each other, and they're very like, oh well, we have to do it because of tradition. Like, they're very like, they just do stuff because that's what they're told. When can I ever keep a straight focus on a topic? Especially when there's like there's things that I'm keeping out, just like I don't, because like I feel like there should be some things that don't need to be discussed. But I can't really think of anything else to mention, really. Like, I really love this book. It's amazing. I read it in like a little under 24 hours, I think, and I just absolutely loved it. It's just so good, and like there's so much that I'm like forgetting or missing out on, or have like just minorly forgotten in this moment, because I feel like every time I go to do a review, my brain just forgets like the entire book. So if there's major things that I'm missing, please leave in the comments and talk about them. Overall, in the comments, leave, if you've read the book, what your opinion is, what your experience reading this book is. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't really have much more to say that I can think of. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye!